Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back once again, or for the very first time, to the Farts and Crap Show, where today, as per usual, it's your host Danjo here with part 14 of Resident Evil HD, the 2002 remake, originally for the GameCube. Now on the PS5, kinda, because it's the PS4 version running on the PS5. Even though it was initially ported to the PlayStation 3 and they didn't really change much of anything when they ported it to the PS4. But yeah, as far as the actual build of the game, it's pretty much the 2002 version. Thus, here on Retro Classics, as I have been informed these past couple months, or elucidated, it's that generation is now considered retro. I don't know how I feel about that. I still kind of disagree, but that generation was almost 25 years ago, so I guess if we're going by time elapsed, sure. But let me tell you, this is one of the prettiest games that I've played on Retro Classics here on the show. And as game being pretty, mean it's not retro? No, not really. And that's not exactly what I mean by pretty per se, because you can do some things with upscaling and, you know, cleaning up textures and graphical stuff in general. And you know, I'm really digging this game so far. And aside from that, I'm really appreciative that they stuck with the pre-rendered backgrounds and stuff, because if they didn't, this game could not look as good as it does. Like, just enjoying this coffee here while it's still pretty much at the perfect temperature. Because yeah, I remember on the GameCube back in the day, and I've probably said this before on this series, but I remember how impressed people were with this remaster, and just kind of the GameCube hardware in general. Like, it was a big deal. It was a very big deal at the time. Pretty sure we don't need the lighter for now. And it was a big deal because of what it was kind of Capcom flexing, and they were really on a hot streak, actually, in this generation. Like, we've had a hot streak for a long time, but like this generation specifically, like with this remake, and like, which looked even better than RE4, which I think Actually, what year did that come out? It was on the GameCube as well initially, because they had a timed exclusivity. No, they originally had complete exclusivity, and then the deal got reworked or something, I believe. And then later, RE4 got ported to the PS2 and it had to be scaled back, and people were like, see, the GameCube actually is more powerful than the PS2. In raw graphical power, yes. But there is something to be said about system architecture, and actually if you can create a game to utilize that specific architecture, which is kind of a thing of the past. Like, in a way, it's not a thing of the past, but it's a thing you don't see as much anymore with like multi-platform stuff. And so then, you know, developers will use like third-party studios to like do the ports and stuff. Typically, but it's it was still impressive. But a kind of like similar thing, and like Capcom's they've always been good about yeah, we do need to go this way. They've always been good about like knowing the target platform and like creating something that's gonna work for it. Because like even like this game is a very faithful recreation of the original, like in 1996 on the PS1. Like it didn't look this good, but it was the same game. Like, and that is just mind-boggling, and they outdid themselves with the sequel. Like, it was massively impressive. And like Mega Man Legends as well, like when I played those on the show, 1 and 2, like it was incredible what they could do for the hardware. To the point where other developers really had trouble keeping up, I would say. Wait, where was I going with that? Oh, PS2, like, specific games and stuff. So, I guess a good example of, like, something that was really good on the PS2 and kind of, like, shows that they knew the architecture. Like, if you guys are familiar with my content, you'll probably be like, oh, he's gonna bring up Armored Core again for PS2. Yeah, I was, but I've talked about that quite a few times, and that's not the only one. Like, yeah, From Software is familiar with like developing games for PS1 and PS2, and they got better over time, obviously. Like, if you compare like Armored Core 2 to like Armored Core Last Raven, it's a night and day difference. But it's like their first outing on the system. Well, actually, I don't know when Kingsfield, the first PS2 Kingsfield was. But anyway, even just comparing things in the same franchise, yeah. But then games where they like had time to cook. Like Shadow of the Colossus, great example. Beautiful game. PS2, like made for the hardware specifically. Kind of at the time put to shame other examples. And then like Bluepoint, when they did the PS3 version, it was like exactly the same. It was just like they didn't even really change all that much. It was more of a port, but it really showed like it really emphasized all the work that they put into the original, which I think most of the development was like Sony Japan, that studio that they basically scrapped because they got anyway. And then later, but yeah, Fumito Ueda was in charge of that project. But like Team Ico guys. And then later on The Last Guardian, like that was kind of an early example of the same team doing kind of the same thing for the PS4. Because people are saying the PS4 was underpowered, and they're like, "Well, look at The Last Guardian." And they're like, "Whoa!" It's like, and look how much of this stuff is happening in real time. It's like, what? But then actual game performance came in, so you know. But it was an interesting experiment. And if you guys are wondering, like, so I know I'm just kind of babbling about other stuff right now because I already figured out what I need to do for this episode, because this is actually my second attempt in recording this episode. We didn't really have, and I know if you guys are paying attention and blah blah, so smart. Yeah, like some of the viewers, I feel like I know some of you guys are just brilliant, and I feel bad sometimes, like explaining stuff, because I'm like, man, some of these guys, like, they're like with it. They're so with it. They're like a couple steps ahead of me. But I have learned over the years that my explanations, how I used to do things and how I used to explain, was hard to follow. And it's like, well, you skipped blah blah blah. And I was like, how did this and this and how did this? Like, okay, true. I did assume there was some knowledge there. So that's why I've said in some of the more recent episodes, like, hey, if you guys are new, this is gonna make a lot more sense if you watch the previous episodes. Like, there is expected prerequisite knowledge of like where we are in the playthrough, and what happened in the last episode, and how that episode built on the previous episode. So again, as part of a series, like all of these videos are in series, as the playlists are at the end of the video, because that's the kind of content that I like. So that's why I make that format of content, because it's like, I enjoy this kind of thing. So hopefully the people that also enjoy that kind of thing will find their way here. And good news, we got new videos every freaking day. But you guys already knew that if you know, watched the previous episode and been keeping up with the series. Anyway, so I already figured out what to do. We didn't really have technical difficulties like we did before I started this series. For the last episode, it just didn't turn out very well. And I was like very, very tired at the time. I was like halfway falling asleep. And I was like, you know what, this is not gonna come together like at all. Like it's not synced and stuff. It's just not great. I ended up dying anyway. I was like, meh, even if I kept this, I would have to reload. Oh, and I wasted a bunch of ammo. Like, half my grenade launcher stuff, most of my shotgun rounds. Yeah, and it was unnecessary. So, yeah. But you guys may remember this spot. Wait, we've been here. Yeah, we were here in a previous episode, right? I don't think it was the last one. Because the last one we did like the resident stuff and blah blah blah. But I came here before. This was the room with the sharks, and even if you guys have never done a full playthrough like me, or you know, even if you just booted the game up before and like kind of let it sit for a bit, it'll do the demo thing, and this is one of the areas that they show in the demo where like Chris is like shooting his shotgun like at sharks, which is unnecessary, by the way. Yeah, because I think the first time there was like a cutscene that played. Oh, okay. I mean, I think this is like, quote unquote, the first time. Because I think whoops, no. Yeah, no, oh crap. Oh, jeez. Okay, that's really bad, actually. So I actually might want to reload. I mean, I was gonna heal anyway. I can't go in there. So as long as I don't get hit again, which I didn't. Yeah, so this is the control room. First time I came here, I didn't have that key on me because I didn't do the thing to get the key, which I don't remember exactly what it was. Because it's been a few days since I last had a recording session. And I think the last recording session was just episode 13. It had been a few days for the recording session before. Yeah. So it's been. Yeah, it's been. Actually, he doesn't even enunciate the bin. It's like, yeah, it's been. Like, Ben. One way, such a luck. Hey. Okay. And last time when I was like half, yeah, I didn't really read the instructions, so I fumbled my way through this. There's a logic puzzle that comes up here in a sec, and they kind of don't really explain the triggers super well. I don't think. Although maybe I didn't read stuff very well. Caution in case of drop in oil pressure control, open valve 3. Okay. There's a map of the aqua ring. Take it, yeah. He just like takes it off the wall and like water starts pouring in through a crack and like, why is everyone patching up holes with maps? This is so counterintuitive. Oh. Okay. So it's like, no, this is just the regular map screen. Okay. Got the map of the aqua ring. Cool. No, I already read that. Is that what's on the whiteboard? That is a whiteboard, right? Like a dry erase board? Which, I mean, that might be... actually, no. Kind of everybody I've talked to... Yeah, they use those... That's a real question. Do you guys use those interchangeably? Like, because they call it I've heard it been called a whiteboard many times. Also a dry erase board, because you use dry erase markers on the thing, and it's like a specific kind of it's a different type of eraser that you typically use for those. But usually you get like a dry erase marker set, and it comes with like an eraser thing. You could just use like a microfiber cloth, or like, anyway. Yeah, do you guys call it whiteboard or dry erase board? Curious. Or do you use them interchangeably? But yeah, I came this way. The first time I came this way, I tried the other door upstairs. Yeah, the one that's unlocked, but it was like in the middle. I think it was the water pressure that was keeping it closed or something like that. And I was like, well, I was getting attacked by sharks anyway. It was towards the end of the episode. And the other door was locked. And yeah, I didn't have the control room key. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to let these sharks kill me then, because I doubt I can get out of here. And I think I did try backtracking, and I was like, yep, I'm dead. Okay, cool. So I was pretty sure this was like a pressure shelter. Right. So what they mean is there are essentially like blast shields for the glass that will completely seal this room from like water pressure and stuff like that. So in case something happens to the glass in an emergency, like, this room won't flood and destroy the control systems. Which, I don't know why they were keeping like sharks in this giant fucking aquarium, but whatever. Probably normal reasons. Error message is being displayed. Something appears to have gone wrong while the water was being drained. There's a switch to drain the water. No. So who is trying to drain the water? That does just say be ready. The hell? The controls for the main system, everything seems to be in proper working order. Okay. Oh, first aid. Yeah. Yas. Salmon. Well, yeah, there's nothing unusual, but that's where the latch is, Jill. 2 green herbs. Alright, I'll take it. I don't need it now because I just had a full heal. But, what was I saying? Oh, right. Multi-platform stuff being optimized for different, different platforms and stuff. Oil pressure regulator, there's no need to adjust the pressure. Okay. Okay, so this is the thing that it said like number 3, which I don't know why it's oil pressure, but a drop in oil pressure controlled open 3. Gotcha. So this is the logic thing, and basically we need to drain the water so the sharks aren't a threat. So yes. Try again. There's the other Capcom. Oh, another good example actually. Not Dead or Alive. why can't I think of the name? Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry had 3 games on the PS2, 1, 2, and 3. And 3 looks remarkably better than the first game. And I mean, that's also where Monster Hunter started. And I think in most regions in the world, they only had the first one on PS2. Like, there was a sequel on PS2 in Japan. I think it was only in Japan. But yeah, Capcom was just killing it in this generation. But I think it was because of the success of Resident Evil and the PS1 that Nintendo wanted their own exclusive, like, Resident Evil stuff for the GameCube. Because, yeah, at the time, Nintendo's console game was pretty bad. Because the N64 did not do well commercially, although it is fondly remembered by tons of people and had some killer software. That wasn't really enough, and it was, by the numbers, kind of a failure. Even though it had some great games. Star Fox 64 is one of my favorites. Mario 64, like Mario Kart 64. First 3 Mario Party games, like Perfect Dark, Banjo Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Rare, just Diddy Kong's Racing. Like, Rare had some awesome games on there. Quest 64. Superman 64, everyone's favorite games, right? And yeah, the GameCube didn't. It did a little bit better, I think, like by the numbers. But it wasn't until their next one, the Wii, where they actually had like a big success. As far as a console goes, like the NES and Famicom, gangbusters. Super Famicom, less so, but still good. As far as sales, as far as numbers go, by the way, like all of these Nintendo platforms I'm mentioning, critical successes, commercial, but yeah, the Wii was like the first one, I guess, since the Super Nintendo, where they had a commercial and critical success. Which, I mean, success by Nintendo standards is like set for life by most people's standards. But you know. But yeah, I think that was the extent of my point. So I went over those things, like Capcom was killing it, different platform specific things, optimization. Oh, there was one other thing, right? With the optimization stuff. As I'm recording this, Shadow of the Erdtree is coming out pretty soon. And very fucking excited for that. And yeah, I think I haven't like paid attention in a while. But FromSoft has done it again. Like, I'm pretty sure. Like, because I was re-downloading the PS5 version. Because I, for the longest time, been playing the PS4 version. For a couple different reasons, because the frame rate was more solid and I can use my controller of choice. If it's the PS5 version, I have to use the DualSense, which I don't like that controller. And yeah, if you don't like the controller, it's kind of hard to enjoy the game, kind of a thing. Because that's your that's your proxy. That's your the way you interact with the interactive experience. So But yeah, I think the file size was cut down. Like, pretty sure they optimized some stuff. Because even it was saying the install size was like 51 or 2 gigabytes. I was like, what? Huh? Wasn't Elden Ring like 80? Like 85? Like somewhere between like 80 and 90 gigs? And they cut that shit down by what, like 40%? Like either they had a shitload of redundant data or they just got really good at optimizing like whatever they did for Sekiro, which I'm sure for like total content is like a smaller game for sure, but for total install size, the game's fucking impressive. It's only like 16, maybe 17 gigabytes. Like that's really good. Really good. Like that's more than some Switch games. But that's smaller than Monster Hunter Rise for the Switch and Sunbreak. Like the two, the game and the expansion together. That's nuts. Yes.
Emergency, emergency. Unknown source of pressure detected. Locking all doors to achieve maximum safety.
Mm-hmm. So the safety is released. Okay. Safety is here? Yes. Okay, the pressure shelter. That's like the blast doors kind of thing.
Reaching 30% of pressure threshold.
Oil pressure lost. Okay. So that's 3. Uh-huh. Right.
Reaching 50% of pressure threshold.
Apparently we need to release the safety again.
Activate emergency drainage system immediately.
Mm-hmm. Well, we need the pressure shelter active first, or else we're gonna drown. And get electrocuted and... yeah. All kinds of bad shit. Alright, there we go. Yep. Drain that shit. Mm-hmm. Sick. Oh, everything's green. We are good. Water's been drained. Yep. Pressure shelter has already been lowered. Yep. System's returned to normal. No need to mess with it anymore. Oil pressure regulators. No need to adjust the pressure. Cool. Alright, so we can go back up top. And here's... damn, Jill. I don't... Okay. I'll hop on the deck and flop like a fish. Which I think technically sharks are fish. Yeah, they're not mammals. And the shark can't do shit. Oh, just a single stab? Yeah, it's dead. Alright. I'm pretty sure those sharks were not infected with the T virus. It's only one of the sharks, though. There were 3? Because, yeah, you just, like, attack them and they die and then they disappear. Yeah, so there's this room. Fucker's completely soaked, nothing special, right? And you would think this deals damage. Like, just don't get near it, because it looks nasty, right? No, you can just walk right under it. It doesn't matter. Control system for the water tank, but it's broken and can't be used. No, the control room's upstairs. That's clearly not what this is. And as far as I can tell, there's nothing else in that room. And on the map, it's not showing that there's any items or anything in there, so I think we're good. And yeah, that shark was gone, so we're good. It's all good. Everything seems to be back to normal. Well, I mean, normal? I mean, the water's drained. And, you know, I probably just need the knife for now. Okay, we could go this way, but this is the way to go back, I believe. It's not the right way right now. Diving suits and nets. Anything of use? Okay. Nets doesn't seem to be anything of use. Alright. Still. Materials are labeled dynamite. They're soaked beyond use. Yeah, but that's an item. Yeah, why didn't you... Okay, whatever. Anyway, more shoddy shells. It's good. Uh-huh. So we gotta go through here. Experiment monitor. Looks like it's being used to gather data on sharks. I wonder why they were doing that. There's another shark. Which I don't think they can deal any damage. Yeah, just one stab and it's dead. Various types of machinery, no idea what they're used for. Really? Jill has no idea what they're used for, huh? That is very surprising. Yeah, I don't think there's anything over here anyway. So anyway, this took me a while, like an embarrassing amount of time to figure out how to do this. Oh, there's an item up there. What the fuck? Oh, and it knocked it down. Gotcha. So I gotta push that in there and then pull the lever. Ow. that's its intended use, as far as I know. It's toasted. I mean, the shark's like still shaking. Wait, it wasn't doing that before. I don't think it's supposed to do that. The residence key, yeah. That's what we need. Oh, now it's not moving. Okay. Pretty sure it's dead. Also, this one is way bigger than the other sharks. And there was a trophy for defeating it, by the way. Just called, and I guess the shark is called Neptune. Kind of cool. Good name for a shark, honestly. Yes. Totally overflowing water. Okay, is there anything else here? No? The garbage dump, okay. Okay, and now I'm not sure what's coming up. I might need the gun. I mean... Wait. Oh, this door is locked from the other side. I know I didn't try it earlier, but it was. Because this is where we were earlier. Yeah. It's just a way to get back. That's all it is. It's just a way to go after you're done doing shit. It's a ladder. Yeah, climb. Mm-hmm. Q. Alright. Back out here. I don't know why there's like bloody hand smudge on the door, but... so if we check in the inventory, examine, it says gallery is imprinted on the key. It doesn't look like a normal door key, like, at all. But, yeah, we have no inventory space. And I believe this is the gallery, pretty sure, because it's the only locked door I have access to here, and I'm fairly positive I checked it before. For the use for this key, yeah, get rid of it. Sure. Alright. So we'll do that on the next episode. I feel like there's another thing I started talking about early in this episode and then like kind of lost the trail. Still have no idea what the fuck the thing is with like the lamps, but maybe that'll become obvious in the next one. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay. I also have no idea what's about to happen. So... What? You can't predict the future? What? You're not supposed to reveal the future? I do have plenty of shoddy rounds. Can I just do this? Yeah, okay, cool. Although I still have 20 bullets on the handgun and I'd rather not waste Oh wait, what kind? No, I want to keep that for a sec. For the 357 Magnum revolver? Oh, one of them is out just to show. Okay. So wasn't the self-defense gun also like a Magnum thing? .22 Magnum rounds. Oh yeah, well it looks like both are loaded. Or maybe that's the deal with this one? I don't know. Oh yeah, it does say 22 Magnum double Dillinger. Yeah. So maybe it fires 2 bullets at once or something? Since it's supposed to be like a close range self-defense weapon or something? I don't know. So I guess I'd have to find more 22 stuff for that. Yeah, I guess I need to make more room. Actually, you know what? I might need the lighter. Just a hunch. Yeah, I need to move these down. Okay. Yeah, about 2 spaces probably. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty well organized. Alright, cool. And there's half the kerosene left. Okay, cool. Because I've been trying to conserve that, but also I don't need to. Yeah, I don't need to burn any zombies right now. I don't believe so, anyway. I've been pretty careful about that. And for the zombies that were not necessary to take out, I just ignored them. So there are a few live ones wandering around. But pretty sure I remember that from one of the playthroughs I watched where, like, long time ago. Because if I'm watching a playthrough of a game I haven't played before, I'll typically take like some mental notes of like a few key it's a good way to explain that. In order to understand what's going on with a playthrough, I found, at least for me, it's best to kind of like familiarize yourself with the mechanics of the game. And so you can better contextualize what happens. Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean I don't have to save, but I don't. That was like pretty optimal, like for the sake of this series, and the fact that I'm gonna go do a bunch of stuff that I have no idea. Have no idea what's in store for this next in the gallery. No clue. And like we have 9 ink ribbons, so who cares? Like definitely the number has kept going up, which she does walk forward a little bit. It's just like you do that. it's very silly to me. Up, down, up, down, up, down, left, right. Okay. It's dumb. I love that they did that though. How there's like an analog control scheme, but also like if you want to play with the tank controls, just use the D-pad. Pretty fucking sick. Anyway. That is gonna do it for today. I actually don't have my notes in front of me today for the series, but I will pull those up and review them and update them as necessary for the next episode. But which, by the way, we'll be going to the gallery and exploring that. And yeah, because I think everything else is pretty much done. Pretty sure. But yeah, hope you guys are all having a great day. Oh. Well, actually, that didn't come up in this episode. Yeah, never mind. There was one other thing that happened in the original. Whatever. It was scrapped. It was part of the scrapped footage. So I'm sure we'll get to it eventually, maybe in the next episode. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Like I have no idea what's coming up. So I caught up entirely to the point where the last footage, because it was a dead end. So progress wise, yeah, I completely caught up. So you guys are all caught up with all the content that was scrapped or lost. So we're good now. Yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm gonna get going. Of course, though, before we get going, there are a few updates and special thank yous in order. So yeah, before we get going, very special thank you going out to the current Farts and Crap Show members, the people who make it possible, the incredibly amazing Novelis Draconis, Don Sabino, WTF Corey, who has an amazing channel here on YouTube, by the way, and Aaron Schick. Thank you all so much for choosing to support the show a bit more directly. Greatly helps out, greatly appreciated. And if you guys want to be incredibly awesome like them and get in on all those membership benefits, check out the join button down below or the link in the description that talks about becoming a channel member. They both redirect in the same way. Tier start $3 a month. It's only 10 cents a day. It gets you into all the basic stuff, including getting to vote on the series that get made here on the channel via the members' choice polls. It's a thing we do once a month for a full 7 days, so 25% of the time we do have one going. And by the time you guys are watching this, I believe we just had the June one wrap up. It was... Yeah, I'm just going to assume I'm correct in this assumption. It ran from June 15th to the 22nd. Till the end of the day on the 22nd, by the way. I'm fairly sure this episode is coming out on the 23rd. Right? I think so. The 23rd had... Yeah, 23rd or maybe even the 24th. But I think this one's coming out on the 23rd. So yeah, if yeah, it just wrapped up. If it is indeed the 23rd, this one's coming out. But we will have another one for July to determine the series that will be replacing this one, more than likely. And but yeah, I'm not really sure at this point in time. But if you are a new channel member, all of the previous members' choice polls, they're still up and they're still open over on the membership tab. So if you haven't voted on those before, you still can, and that input will be considered for future polls. And yeah, going back to the very first one, so there's at least like 30 of them over there that you guys can vote on. And yeah, but the voting period to determine the new series, that's like once a month, 7 days. It's always a new poll and blah blah blah. So anyway, I think that about does it. Oh, if I'm wrong and it's not the 23rd yet, like June 23rd, 2024, you can still get your vote in for that one and help determine what that next series is going to be. Yeah, this is an approximation of future announcements from the past, so if you guys want all of the announcements as they happen and the bell doesn't work out for you, it's totally fine. It doesn't work for me either. There are 3 other options you can do though to stay up to date. There's the community tab here on the channel, the Farts and Crap Show Twitter, or the Discord. I always post on all 3 whenever there's an announcement, so regardless of which one of those methods works for you, you'll be in the loop. And yeah, links for those are down in the description, also on the channel banner. But that is gonna do it for today. So thank you all once again for being here, guys. Till next time, take care, much love, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.